oh yeah, like your friend even like mistook me for you. And then at the same time, her friend's like, oh my God, I thought, like literally saying like, I thought she was you. And she's like, no, she didn't. We don't look the same. I'm like looking at her and I'm like, are you fucking kidding? It was meant as a compliment, not an insult. Get over yourself. Girl, stop talking. All the shit that people are thinking but not saying. I'm not even like drunk. I've just been like drinking. Does my podcast offend you? Men, if you're listening, I apologize in advance. Women, hey bitches, are you ready? Are you still talking? Girl, stop talking. Okay, let's start this fucking show. Happy fucking Monday, bitches. Oh my God. Why am I like nervous right now? I think I've drank too much caffeine today. And I feel like anxious. And then I'm like, I feel like it's been so long since I've recorded just a solo episode. I've been kind of off my game and I wanted to do a recap of just what's been going on, life lately, and then kind of like moving forward, what the end of the year looks like. I have a lot to discuss. I feel like October was so crazy busy for me and I didn't even expect it to be that busy. I knew I had like specific things going on. We obviously talked about my birthday and you guys saw the confessional and all of that. The weeks after that, I had one of my girlfriends in town that I haven't seen in like 2 years, 2.5 years, which was crazy. And we literally did a full back-to-back weekend of just fun running around the state of Arizona. We went up to Sedona. We did the touristy thing. We held snakes like randomly. We went to Fear Farm and I know I posted this on my story. This was a couple weeks ago, but I have genuinely never been so scared, like genuinely scared at Fear Farm. Like it's fun to go with someone who kind of like thinks it's a little more spooky. So my girlfriend was like freaking out and I didn't think it was that scary. Obviously we're having fun with it. Like we're adults, so you know, it is what it is. But I was like recording, I was like recording our faces the whole time. And there was this part where like this chainsaw guy literally came up and like spooked us and was super loud. And so we were like laughing and like coming down off of like being scared. And we're walking into the corn maze and it's just darkness. It goes complete black. And so you can't see anything on the face, okay? And then we're just like walking and we're holding each other, like hands together, shoulder to shoulder, walking through the whole maze. It's complete darkness. You see like the backlighting of the corn is just lit up. And then all of a sudden the fucking corn moves and comes at us, like runs at us full force. And at the same time, literally at the same time, we both were like laughing and then we scream. It gets fucking quiet because we like jumped and then we must have been in like loose dirt or something because we literally jumped, slipped, fell straight on our fucking backs. And it was literally the funniest fucking thing. I have not laughed like this in so long. And you know what? In a second, I'm just gonna play the clip. It was the funniest fucking thing that's happened to me in a long time. In the video, you see nothing but like a light at the top corner, and then you hear us laughing, ah, and then we're like, ah, we're like fucking cackling. And in that moment, the corn, there was some guy standing in the corn, but it was so black you couldn't see anything. And then he runs at us. We literally screamed. I think we like physically jumped in the air. It was like a banana peel situation. Slipped and fell. We're on our feet and then fell straight on our backs. And it literally, the video goes quiet. And then you just hear us fucking cackling. And you know what? We're going to roll back the clip.
Dude, I'm covered. Okay, y'all can go ahead. I can't breathe. Okay. Wait, I'm dying. We made you laugh. You broke character. I recorded all.
I have not laughed like that in so long. It was like snorting belly laugh. I had been smoking before we went into this maze, which normally I had a couple of drinks and then I hit my weed pen. And normally I don't do that when I'm drinking because it makes, like, I get socially anxious. I have some social anxiety, but I was like, whatever, like, we're just having fun. And I seriously was crying from laughter. It was, I mean, you can hear it in the video. I was tapped. Like, I walked through the rest of the maze. I was hyperventilating. I could not stop fucking laughing. And I have not laughed like that in so long. So that was like a highlight from that weekend. Another highlight is we were able to, through my nutrition program, they had a retreat that we did, and it was honestly like a day of therapy and nutrition and health. And we just got to surround ourselves around other people that are in this program doing the same things, trying to better their lives. And I know a lot of you guys follow me on social media and you see all the things that I'm posting. I am working with Optimize, which is a local business here that one of my girlfriends, Dylan, runs. And if you are thinking about, you know, making healthier habits, setting better goals, or changing, you know, your life, essentially, this is literally the program for you, because I've learned so much in the last like 8 months that I've been doing it. And it's amazing to be held accountable by people in your life who are doing the same things. And it makes it a lot easier to like stick to the goals. And if you have like that accountability and someone to like back you up, it's just amazing. I got to meet a handful of the girls that are in the group. So shout out to you guys if you're listening. Thanks for supporting your girl. And it was honestly just like a really beautiful day with a bunch of beautiful people. So we did that. And then I know Amanda was in a couple episodes ago where we recapped like my birthday and some of the things that went on there. So you guys got to see her a little bit in to like a couple episodes ago. Anyways, moving forward, I'm trying to think what else has been going on. I just celebrated Halloween and I went to Super Unnatural, which is an event here in Arizona. And I have to like give you guys the details behind my outfit, because if you follow me, which most of you guys do if you're listening by now, I dressed up as Patrick Star. And I had zero plans to do anything for Halloween. I was just like exhausted from the whole month of October. I didn't want to drink. I've been trying to like slow down. I'm in a cut right now. So like I have to prioritize like my food and my exercise, and I'm really, really ready to lose this excess body fat. So those are like important goals to me. And I'm just reframing this because I had zero intention of going to this event until I had the idea. I'm like, you know what? Me saying I'm not going to dress up for Halloween is just like saying you're not going to brush your teeth in the morning. I always dress up for Halloween. I've dressed up for Halloween every single year of my life. Okay? Like every single year I've dressed up and done something since I was 1. I have not missed 1 year. And so, that might sound crazy. I know that's like, whatever. Maybe it sounds crazy. Maybe it doesn't. I fucking love Halloween. And I had the great idea to go as Patrick Star. But I'm like, I've always wanted to do it, but I'm like, okay, how can I make this like sexy but funny? And where am I gonna go? So I saw this event, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get a ticket to go to this event, and just so I can show off my costume. And I decided it would be hilarious to get like a bald cap and do the full cone head to make myself look like Patrick Star. Patrick was a fucking icon. If you haven't seen the videos and pictures that I've posted on Instagram or on TikTok, go to my personal Instagram, Tatum Zoe 3Es, and go check them out because it's iconic. Patrick was iconic. And so in this event, I gave myself a goal. I was like, I'm only going to have 4 drinks. I don't want to get wasted and do a whole night. I literally just came here to show off my costume and listen to some good music. And that's exactly what I did. And it was, okay, but I did take a fucking gummy too. Like I had a little weed with me because I'm like, okay, I kind of needed a vice. Like sometimes if I'm not drinking, I usually end up smoking a lot more. And that's just, I guess, keeps my mind distracted a little bit. So I brought a gummy with me. I think I had 3 drinks the whole night within like 4 or 5 hours. So pretty, like, I was tipsy for a moment, then it wore off, and I had my gummy. Everything was fine until the gummy kicked in, okay? Like I told you before, I normally don't smoke when I drink because I have a little social anxiety. And this is basically what happened. So I cannot take myself seriously. Everybody fucking loved the outfit. I was getting stopped left and right. People were like, this is amazing. You're Patrick Star, like iconic. This outfit is great. Like people were dying laughing. I was dancing, shaking my ass. And then there was like this moment where these guys would come up to me and then my edible kicks in. Okay. And these guys are coming up to me and they're like starting conversations and I'm like sitting here. This is where like the social anxiety starts to begin because I'm like, they're talking to me, right? And I'm having like an out of body. Like I am inside my head talking to myself. Like I cannot even take myself serious. Why is this man talking to me? I had a couple guys straight up hit on me and tell me, they're like, oh, you're a conehead. And I'm like, no, I'm Patrick. I'm sexy Patrick. And they're like, yeah, you are sexy. And then they like come up and they're talking to me and like having these like, I don't know, in my mind, listen, like I'm not trying to gas myself up, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, are these guys fucking hitting on me? And I'm in a full-blown cone head. And these guys are like hitting on me, like telling me I look good, asking me like questions about myself. And maybe I was probably completely overthinking it, okay? Because we were at a rave and an event and people do drugs there and they just try to have conversations. And when you're a fun, funny person, maybe they were just trying to talk to me. But me in my head, I was like, they're hitting on me. And then I'm like, you're wearing a cone head and you look fucking ridiculous. Why? Like, if I was single, would one of these guys attempt to take me home with a fucking cone on my head? Like, it's so funny to me. It's like, and then I was getting so like, I felt like I didn't even know. I wasn't even listening to the conversation anymore because I was having like 2 conversations with me and my 2 personalities, Patrick and Tatum, inside my head. And I'm like, okay, Tatum, focus, listen, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, not everybody's trying to fucking hit on you. Just enjoy the conversation, then walk away. And each conversation that I had with like, it was like 2 or 3 guys, I was so awkward at the end. I'm like, and then I'm just like, okay, well, bye. It was weird. Normally Zach comes to events like this with me and he thought I was like absolutely ridiculous for dressing up like this. And I even told him, I'm like, could you imagine, babe, if we went to this event together and then afterwards we came home to like have sex? I'm like, would you fuck me with the cone head on? Couldn't you imagine? He's like, yeah, you like that? You've been a bad girl. Are you a bad girl? And I'm like, no, this is Patrick. Oh my God, I'm literally sweating. That's so fucking funny. I would have died. Oh, it was hilarious. So anyways, Patrick was so much fun. I'm so glad I got the content that I did. I'm glad that I went out that night. I was so happy that I was able to just go out and have fun. And I literally made it. I left at like 10. I made it home before 12 o'clock. I got back in bed and I wasn't hungover. I felt great the next day. I went to the gym. It was just, honestly, it was so great. I'm trying to think of, there was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, the next night we ended up going out to Old Town and meeting up with some friends. And, you know, I haven't ran into this in like a long time, but like I hate when you run into like girls who aren't for the girls, you know? Like they're just cunty as fuck. And like I said, it hasn't happened in a long time. And me, I'm always like complimenting people, having conversations. People are coming up to me, like giving out positive energy. And I was walking past this girl and she literally, we were wearing like the same outfit, basically, like same, but different. And I walked past and one of her friends stopped me and starts talking to me as if she knows me. And I'm sitting here, and then I turned around and I was like, wait, what? And she's like, oh my God, I thought you were my girlfriend. And she pointed to her and I was like, oh yeah, I saw her. I'm like, that's so funny. We actually look the same from the back. We're wearing like the same outfit. And then me being like the outgoing person that I am, I was like, oh, I'm going to go compliment her and just like say hi, because how funny that her friend thought that I was like her from the back. I literally like wrote these notes down because I wanted to talk about it. It was like a drunk podcast moment. I walked up to the girl and I was like, oh my God, like we look the same from the back. And she turns around, she's like, no, we don't. And I'm like looking at her like, I kind of laughed and I was like, oh yeah, like your friend even like mistook me for you. And then at the same time, her friend's like, oh my God, I thought, like literally saying like, I thought she was you. And she's like, no, she didn't. We don't look the same. And I was just like sitting there, like kind of shook. I'm like looking at her and I'm like, are you fucking kidding? It was meant as a compliment, not an insult. Get over yourself. And walked away. I'm sorry, but I'm a hot ass bitch. You would be lucky. You would be fucking lucky to get mistaken for me, okay? Fucking no. That was aggressive. Those are fighting words, Tatum. You can't say that. Okay, this podcast is not for the lighthearted souls, okay? What was the other thing that happened that night? There was another, like when you know people from social media and you've actually like met them in person before, you've chatted in the DMs, and then like you see them out and they pretend like they don't know who you are. I fucking hate that shit. That also happened the same night. It just felt so weird because I was like, oh, hey girl, like how are you? And they just kind of like walk past you and like make a weird face, and then you can see like their friends gossiping like, oh, who were you talking to? And I was like, oh yeah, this girl, like I know she knows who I am, but whatever. And then I could just imagine like the conversation after, like, oh my God, that girl thought like you knew her. She's like, everybody thinks they know me. Like that, I don't know. It's like such a weird concept to me because I'm just so not that way. It's funny because when I meet people in person, they actually, I think the number one thing that people say when they meet me after like following me online, or if they see me out or something, they're like, oh my God, you're like exactly who you are on your Instagram. And in my head, I'm like, why would I not be? But I guess I'm beginning to realize that people put on like a lot of facades online, which it's a hard thing for me to like understand, or that like computes in my head, because it just seems like exhausting, like to have a different persona online than you do in person. I don't know. It just seems exhausting to me. So it's like a really weird concept for me to like wrap my head around. Like, why wouldn't you just be cool? Even if someone comes up to me and I have no idea who they are, because genuinely I suck with fucking names. I'm so much better with like faces with people. But even if they come up to me, they're like, oh, Tatum, like blah, or like say something, whatever. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like, how are you? Hi. Or if it's in passing or whatever, like, just be a nice girl. Like, it's 2024. What is going on? What the fuck? So that kind of wraps up my weekend, my last couple of weekends. I wanted to like get into a little more of like a serious conversation. I've really been struggling a lot with like, oh, I know I mentioned this on my Instagram, but like having a little imposter syndrome. Like I've missed a couple weeks of episodes because I've been putting off and procrastinating doing a solo episode because I feel like I don't have like a creative idea or a story to tell. And then I'm like sitting here and I'm like, do I just talk about some of the things that have been happening lately, which I know that I've done life updates before. But then I go into this little spiral of being like, who fucking cares? Like, no one fucking cares about you and your first world problems. So I've been like pushing this off because I'm like struggling with the idea that I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like, you're literally just a girl on Instagram. Like, no one wants to hear your problems. I don't know. It's a really weird concept, I think, that I've been trying to get around. But obviously, you guys listen because you like to hear my problems. That's why you're listening to the show. So we're going to talk about my problems. The last couple of months, and not even really the last couple of months, it's kind of been like a theme since the beginning of this year. So January of last year, I started feeling like lost when it came to my business. And I guess by sharing this, I hope that it can just relate with someone in some type of way, whether it's like in your career or in your personal life, or even just like the momentum and movement forward in your life. And I've been doing lashes as a full-time career for almost 9 years now. That's a long fucking time, bitch. And in January, I started feeling like lost. That was kind of like the theme, the word that kept coming to my head is like, I don't really know what direction I want to go in anymore. Now, I have set myself up where to be I am an Arizona State Board certified lash instructor, which I filled and did all of the paperwork for this summer. So I've taught education. I've taught girls how to do lashes. I've done it in the past. I know what I'm doing. I have a whole platform and school for it that's like online. Some things have changed with that. So I have that. And I'm like, okay, in the beginning of this year, I'm like, I don't think I want to be in the chair, like taking clients anymore. I'm just exhausted of it. I'm tired of like the hustle. I have a really good core group of people. And that has just kind of been the theme. As the year unraveled, I broke my collarbone in March. The girl that was working for me decided that she wasn't going to be lashing anymore, and that happened in April. So it was kind of, and this is dramatic, but a downward spiral at the beginning of the year that kind of gave me like this in the back of my head, like, this isn't it anymore. Like, this isn't for you. Like, I always thought I wanted to have my own studio with girls working in it and my own location, like building and all of these things. But after working with a lot of people and managing people, oh, girl, it is exhausting. It is exhausting working with people. And I guess I finally felt like comfortable enough. Like, life is going good. My bills are getting paid. I have a great clientele. Do I want to put in like this time and energy into making this bigger than it is? Because it's a hustle and your girl's tired. It took some time for my collarbone to heal, obviously. And it's crazy because I even with that, I feel like it's more of a sign that there's something better for me to be doing. And because what I'm dealing with now is like my collarbone is healed and I generally don't have any pain with it until I'm sitting in the lash chair lashing my clients. The only time I'm feeling pain from that broken bone is when I'm working, which is obviously how I make money, what I do, multiple times a week for hours on end. And it just has my body feeling fucking exhausted. Yeah, over the summer, I shut down my salon. I moved into an in-home studio. I created a whole like professional lash studio in my home, and my thought was like, this was going to be a pause. I'm not going to take any more clients. I'm going to work on my education program, and I'm just going to slow down my clientele and then switch over to educating people and make money that way. And then my original thought was, once the education stuff kind of popped off, then I would slowly retire lashing altogether. And now, as the summer has gone on and more months have gone on, I just am continuing to feel lost. Like, am I making the right decision? Do I even want to do lashes anymore? Do I even want to do the education piece? It feels, my training's basically done and ready to go. There are like a handful of things that need to be finished, that it's like booked, ready, marketed, making money. And this is just me being a perfectionist at this point, because like I said, I've already trained people. Some of the things have changed with it becoming like a statewide education program. But I'm just finding myself like struggling in the fact that like I don't really know what I want to do with my life. I feel like content in how things are going right now. But I've always been a hustler. So it was nice to like take some time off and feel like everything is okay the way it's going. But now I'm like, okay, what's next? What am I putting my time into? What is it that I want to do? And I don't fucking know. I literally have no idea. Does anyone else feel this way? Like, is this like a end of an era, like 20s, end of 20s, like quarter life crises era? Like, is that a thing? Because I've never felt this way before. Like, I've always felt like I have direction and I know which way I want to go with my life. And right now I'm just like, I have no fucking clue. There's a big part of me that's like, follow through with the lashing stuff, because it's probably the quickest, easiest way to, you know, have more financial freedom. But then I'm like, but what else do I want to do? I mean, obviously I love this show, and it's also not making me money. So it's like a hobby. Would I love for this to be a career and like my full time? I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. I've looked into a couple different opportunities with expanding my knowledge in something that I do feel passionate about, which I'm not fully ready to say yet, because I kind of want it to be, I don't know if I'm going to go through with it or not, but I have recruited, I've researched, I've done other information, and I may be getting some new certifications to expand the beauty empowerment of making women feel great about themselves. But that'll just be a little Easter egg for now, because I don't know if that's going to happen quite yet. Yeah, it's interesting. I just feel like I don't know what I want to do next, but I also feel like I can't just keep sitting in this like content space, because there's no growth when you are just doing nothing. And that's also getting to me too. Like, I feel like I need to be doing something. And that just might be a trauma response. I'm not really sure. Here are the things that I am sure about. I love making content. I think it's so much fun. I have a couple of ideas moving forward. I'm going to bring back the TSAs in a little bit of a different way. They're not going to be as much on the podcast. I don't think, literally working this out right now. I'm going to do 30 days of TSAs. They're going to start very soon, and I'm going to be dropping them on my personal Instagram and my TikTok. My goal for this, if I could make this show a job and be paid from it, I will literally quit lashing. And because I'm ready to be internet famous. So ridiculous. I know. I'm ready to have my fucking moment, okay? the moment is coming. It does fuel me, but it's difficult. All of the social media stuff, like people think that, oh my God, it's so easy, you're just posting to social media. It's literally like another fucking job. I am a solo one person on this show. I record, I edit, I clip the fucking content, I post it. It is so time consuming. And so I'm like, okay, I know you just have to be consistent. So you guys are going to see so much more from me. I'm sure you've already noticed a pickup in dropping reels. I'm going to try and drop one every single day from here until the new year. A part of that is going to be my 30 days of TSAs. If you don't know what a TSA is, it's a Tatum service announcement, like a public service announcement. They're going to be anything that sparks like a funny, creative thought in my head. I already have a couple written down there, whether they're like motivating, fitness, something about social media, emasculating men. It doesn't matter. It's literally just going to be a quick reel, a TSA to take into consideration to help move your life forward for the better. And then I also, this is just like a thought. I am not going to execute on this yet because I know that if I do something, I want to go full send, okay? I want to commit to it. I want to say, yes, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. So this is something maybe for the new year. I think I'm going to start going live once a month for an episode with a co-host, and we're going to put everything live on Instagram or on TikTok. I'm not 100% yet. Most of my following is on Instagram, so it'll probably be on there. But it will be a set day and a set time of that month. And then I'm going to leave it to you guys to help me pick the topic worth discussing. It will be live on the specific day. If you end up missing it, then I'm going to re-release it as an episode the following week for that Monday's episode. So I'm really trying to push this show. I know I've said this a lot, but I can't do that without the support of you guys. So if you have laughed or you've been listening from the beginning or you just got here or there's something that is relatable to you, please subscribe. First of all, please make sure you are subscribed anywhere or everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube. If you watch on YouTube, drop a comment. Like, could be one word. I don't care. And tell a friend. Send them your favorite episode. Have them follow the Instagram, my personal Instagram. I can't grow it without the support of my listeners that I love. So yeah, that's really it. Those are my updates. I'm sorry if this was a boring episode. I literally feel like I was just rambling about life. This was the hardest episode, I think, for me to make because I'm fighting my own self, being like, no one fucking cares. But I know you guys do. I know the diehards do. And I hope that it can at least resonate with someone feeling the same way of kind of feeling lost in life and knowing that there is more to come. Oh, that was the other thing. I was going to discuss my tarot cards. Okay, so we're going to do that really quick. I don't know if anyone's even really into this, but when I went to Nashville, I met a shit ton of people, and one of those people was Frank, and he created this vibrating tarot deck, and it's basically, he did all of the illustrations and everything on the deck, and it's toys of brands big and small, and then they created a tarot card deck with it. So I've been wanting to get into it. It has a little guide and everything. I pulled 3 cards. I realized after I did this, I did it wrong. But the 3 cards that I pulled were 6 of ropes, the 2 of plugs, and the empress. Okay. The 6 of ropes was recognition. So this pull, with the way that I've been feeling, it really did resonate with me. As I shuffle the deck, I set an intention, and I think that this overall, when you pull 3 cards, it can be past, present, and future. So for me, the recognition was obviously like this time in my life where I don't understand what's going on. I'm very self-aware of it. I haven't made any direct moves because I'm just trying to like better understand. The Two of Plugs is balance, and I am a Libra, so I'm always trying to figure out how am I going to make these next steps moving forward work, which goes so much along with this other certification that I'm thinking about, the direction of the podcast. I want to set goals that are attainable that I'm going to stick to because I don't like feeling like I failed. And side note, my goal for the podcast this year was to post once a week, one episode a week for a whole year. I think I've only missed 3 or 4 weeks this year, and we're just going to blow right through the rest of it. Okay, and then the Empress was about abundance. So thinking about where I'm going in this next stage of my career, feeling lost, recognizing that with the first card, balancing that out, like how is this going to fit into my life that is going to be functional for all of me? And then knowing moving forward that I have spent the time being self-aware and choosing like what is it that I'm going to do next, and the abundance is going to come from that. It's so powerful because it's like, I don't know if you believe in like this stuff. I've always had a very, very strong intuition, and you know, I've decided that I'm with even my like program that I'm doing, like I need to listen to my body more, and I really want to listen to that intuition more. Okay, so I definitely want to do the tarot cards more. If you guys are interested in following this little journey with me and doing them potentially on the show as like a little intro, or we could just do one for the week. It could be like a weekly poll, something that you're gonna like, not like manifest, but you're gonna set an intention for yourself, can pull a card, and I'm gonna use my intuition and read that, where you can think about that for the week and reflect on it at the end of the week to see how you were able to bring that into your life, or if it resonated with you. I think it would be really fun just to try out. So that's it. That's all I got. I hope that I kept your attention and you will continue to listen from here on out. I'm sure you will. I do have some other episodes with guests coming up over the next month or so. I have a cosmetic gynecologist coming on the show talking about all things cosmetic surgery, gynecology wise, and what that really means. I have a brand coming on the show. I will give her a little shout out right now. If you are interested in trying some quality, sexy serums, please send me a DM. I'll make another post on my Instagram. I met her at this convention in Nashville. She has clean, environmentally safe lubrications, and there's 3 different ones. There's a water base, a silicone base, and a body oil for just play. I have gotten these. I really do like them. I stand behind them. You can use my code TatumZoe20, 3 E's in Zoe, to get 20% off of your first order. I will post about them again so that you can see what those are. If you're interested in the lubes, please check them out. You will be supporting a small business in the sexual health and wellness space, which we love. And so she's coming on the show talking about her product, talking about just more of these like creative ideas and intuitions moving forward. So that'll be a great episode that you guys will have to listen to. And then I have another girly, I believe she's a sex and jealousy therapist. That is a very interesting conversation. So those you have to look forward to. Happy fucking Monday. Thanks for listening. I love you. Bye. Are you still talking? Girl, stop talking.